Hi again, everyone. This is Dr. R. So let's dive right in. Again, we're looking at the lead-in, and we can't answer the lead-in, so we're going to go to the question stem. And once again, we are going to look at the answer choices. So these are different types of studies. So a group of researchers is interested in investigating the relationship between physical activity and the risk of developing CVD or cardiovascular disease. So physical activity and CVD. They recruit 500 individuals with cardiovascular disease, so they already have the disease, so that's interesting. So then there's going to be two groups here, right? So this is the disease, and there's 500 of them with CVD, and 500 individuals without CVD. So this is plus disease, this is minus disease. And so this is 500 with no CVD. And then we collect data on their physical activity levels over the past year. Over the past year. So what this tells me is that they recruited 500 people with CVD, and then they recruited 500 people without CVD. And what they then probably did was go back in to their electronic health records or their charts and looked at what their physical activity levels were over the past year. So in my mind, we are now here in the data, right, in time. But we recruited the people here, 500 and 500. But over the last year, so 1 year ago, we started to look at their physical activities. So their physical activities. And so what was their physical activity of these two groups over the past year? So in order to be able to do that, we could ask them what their physical activity level is. But that would not be the most accurate because people don't remember, or they embellish, or they underreport. So oftentimes we try to go to charts or records or the electronic health record. And then maybe they have been given questionnaires over the past year of their physical activity levels. So all of this information is quite important. So let's go to now a case control study. Remember in a previous video, I often said a case control will often start with the people who have cases. Well, actually, they always start with people who have cases, and then we find the controls, right? And these are the people with the disease, and these are the people without the disease. So, is that what happened? So the answer is yes so far. I also said that oftentimes you can see equal numbers, right? So 500 and 500. So look out for that. Doesn't mean it's always like that, but it is an extra piece of information that includes the likelihood that this could be a good answer. But the big thing for me is also that there is a retrospective piece to this. And so this one is quite likely for me. Is this a cohort study? So a cohort study starts with people that are initially free of the disease, and then we follow them over time. And what we start looking for is people to start getting the disease over time, and we start reporting the incidence, right? And the incidence, remember, is new cases divided by those at risk of getting the new case. So I don't see that because we actually started with people that had CVD. Crossover study. This is a crossover study. I don't hear anything about starting with two groups, having collected data, having a washout, then the two groups switching from experimental and control to control and experimental, and then collecting the data again, and then comparing these two pieces of data. I don't see that. Cross-sectional, is this at a specific time? So cross-sectional, remember, is at a specific time. So all data is collected here at a very specific time. This says activity levels over the past year, so that is not happening. So this is not a cross-sectional, and I didn't hear anything about randomization. So an RCT is out, and I hope you understand that case control study is the most likely answer.